Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Agop Real, where we talk about real problems, unedited, raging around the world. Follow me, subscribe to the channel if you like to be updated of important things and interesting life stories with lessons, life lessons, then you're at the right place. And today we're talking about Germany and the current propaganda towards war, preparation for war and all this garbage. So if you want to have a laugh and you want to learn something, stay around till the end. This is really important, guys, because the government will continue to try these actions and try to implement fear to get what they want, which is your energy and your money. All right, let's dive right in. So at the moment, everywhere in the news, everywhere, everybody's talking about it in Germany. I'm originally German. I grew up in Germany. I had a business in Germany for 5 years. I was a wealth manager and then escaped to the UK because Germany is in a downfall. Since 2015, things got worse and worse, and with the lockdowns and all that blah, blah, blah bullshit, things are now at a tipping point where the German government doesn't really know anymore what else to do than continuing to implement fear in their population to control them. All right? Let's break this down. Why are they actually doing this? Let's take the period 2020 to 2023 as an example. We all remember it. We all understand the results of it. Okay? So, there was a villain, which was the difference now is the villain is Russia, Putin. Before, you couldn't even see the villain. It was an unseeable enemy, invisible enemy, okay? Anyway, so they took a villain, all right, which was the invisible enemy, let's call him that, because nobody can see it. It's just in your mind, it's a ghost, okay? And then they made everyone afraid. They scared everyone. They used fear as a tactic to penetrate the enemy, which is you, all right? So they made you scared of ghosts, of an invisible enemy, all right? And then they explained you what's the solution. How are you going to be, you and your loved ones, how are you going to be saved from this invisible enemy, all right? The enemy you can't see or feel, only when you imagine it, okay? Why am I saying only if you imagine it? Because today in 2025, supposedly, guys, this invisible enemy is still there. It's still invisible. It's just not anymore in your mind. It's not anymore on the news. It's not anymore spoken about. Do you understand? So this villain has vanished. Now it's not only invisible, it disappeared. It went to Mars, okay? No, it didn't. Of course it didn't, guys. But it's the same thing happening again, now with Russia. So they're villainizing Putin, okay? And I lived in Russia over the last 2 years, and I'm gonna go there again next year in summer. And it's one of the most beautiful and amazing countries I've ever visited. And society is stable and loving and educated and productive and innovative. Very nice people, very smart people. The streets are clean. It's very safe. I want to live there. I'm going to live there. I'm continuing to live there, even though they're in a state of war with Ukraine. Anyway, so let's go into the exact details. So what did the German government do 2020 to 2023, right? So they created fear. They gave you a solution how you and your loved ones are safe, which is staying at home and shut the fuck up, right? Don't talk about it. You have to wear a mask. You can't speak to anyone. If you speak about this topic, then you're gonna get banned, okay? You're gonna get fines. If you go out of the home after 8 p.m., you're gonna get fined. Blah, 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 blah. And now history, even though it's just 3 years ago, guys, it's simply repeating itself. There's just another villain. And there is another solution how you're safe from this villain. Okay? But why are they actually doing this? So before we get into that, I want to make something very, very clear about Germany. Okay? Dear German friends, if you're listening, are you actually aware who your government wants to go to war with? Have you been in a Russian gym lately? Did you go to Moscow and did you go to the gym and did you look around you? Who is training? Guys, when you go to war, there is a couple of things you need, okay? Firstly, it's people, and specifically men, all right? So in 2020, when the German government told everyone to wear masks, shut the fuck up and stay at home, there was no man saying, no, I don't see the invisible enemy. I don't believe in the invisible enemy. There was no man around, bro. No man. So how can the German government fight a war against Russia without men? Maybe in 50 years with robots. Maybe. But I don't believe Germany will have any impactful ability to produce robots, even in the next 50 years to go to war. Because that brings us to the next point. Without men, Germany is not only defenseless, it also can't attack. And Russia will never attack Germany. Why would they? They're so big. They have other problems. They have too much resources, too many people, too many religious groups. Black, yellow, green, white people, everybody's there, everybody has an opinion. Their actual problem is to keep the internal peace. They don't want external problems. They have enough internal problems. And by the way, they make it work, right? It works. So, chapeau to them. Anyhow, going back to Germany. So, they basically are incapable of fighting a war because there is no man around. And believe me, the moment Germany says we're going to war with Russia, then all the women gonna be here in Dubai. All the girls gonna fly to the US and say, oh my God, Germany's at war, I'm a refugee. Oh my God, fly me out. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. No woman is gonna say, oh yeah, let's go to the front lines, let's get bombed into pieces. No. Okay. So, no woman gonna fight, no man gonna fight, because the mentality of a German man today is too feminine. So there's no belief in their country, right? And I believe the immigrants that they let in the last 15 years, they're also not feeling like getting bombed into pieces for nothing, all right? It's not for nothing, by the way, we're gonna get to that later, why they're actually doing that. So, next problem is Germany doesn't have any resources. What resources Germany actually has, I always speak about that. Germany simply has the discipline and the hardworking German people. Well, men, okay? Women are supposed to make children and build the next generation of men, all right? And that isn't happening anymore. Women going to work and hate their jobs. Women going to work without husbands because husbands don't want women that work. Then husbands are at home alone, work very hard. No, they work way less hard because they don't have women and children to take care of, which is their actual sense in life to exist. So, failing society, right? So they also not only have the resources from the working power to produce weapons, to produce tanks, to produce defense, to produce missiles, yada, yada, yada. No, they also don't have energy. Oil, gas, nuclear power. It's all fucked. They don't have it. All the companies in Germany the last 5 to 10 years, they're moving to the US. They're moving to China. They're moving out of Germany because the energy costs, because of their stupid green climate change. No, wait, it was too cold 100 years ago. Then it was too hot. And now it's simply climate change. So whatever direction it goes, it gets too hot, too cold. They can always steal your money. Oh, there we have it. Maybe it's about stealing your money. Maybe, we get to that later. So, the problem number 1 is no men. Problem number 2 is no energy. All right? So, without these things, you're absolutely incapable not only fighting a war, but specifically winning a war. So, it is impossible that Germany is going to go to war. They can't. They can't. It's simply physically not possible. So, What is this all about? This is simply a scam, guys. Like the invisible enemy, they extracted billions and billions and billions of dollars out of taxpayer money and send it to their friends, who then send it to a trust offshore, who then bought them assets, and they had all a wonderful time. Okay? This is the simple truth, guys. You're being scammed. You're the peasants. You don't understand how it works. Okay? They make you afraid, so you oblige. They say jump, you jump, because you're scared. The invisible enemy. Now, they have something better. It's the bad boy Putin, the guy who makes the streets of Moscow safe, bad boy, who makes the women in Russia so beautiful and give them healthy food, bad boy, who makes the Russian man so strong so they can do 10 muscle-ups in the gym. Bro, they do it. Bad boy, the streets of Moscow, they're safe. Oh no, he's so bad, stealing all the money for himself. Why all these fucking restaurants in Moscow always fucking packed when I want to have a nice table? If just Putin has money. All the restaurants full. I want a table. I would love them to be broke so I can turn up and choose my table. No. They got money, guys. They got money. So Germany is simply trying, the government is trying, and I'm with the people, guys. I'm with you. I'm one of you. I was a peasant, I made a little bit of money, and I ran away to Dubai, okay? Because, there's too many dummies in Germany who don't get it. So I can't stay around this shit. It makes me crazy. It makes me actually upset and angry. So it's not good to be there. Because I care about you guys. I'm German. So, why do you think I'm making this video? I want you guys to think. Gentlemen, whoever controls the German government, let's just keep it like this. Whoever puts these regulations and laws in place, and whoever makes the calls and says to ARD and ZDF and all this bullshit media, right, that is talking about this garbage, whoever controls this, they have a goal, okay? And that goal is not to save you. That goal is not to save your loved ones, gentlemen. This is extremely important for you to understand. If they would, they wouldn't sell you aspirin, Coca-Cola, and cigarettes, right? Because that's not good for you. It's not great, okay? Makes you sick. Makes your children sick. Just use your common sense. The invisible enemy has left to Mars. No more masks. You can socially gather again. But we have stolen billions and billions and gazillions of dollars. And the worst part about it, they took your businesses. They took your generational wealth. They took generational work. Your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, what they have died for in the First and Second World War to protect all the German invention. They have stolen it. They have taken it. And now, in 2020 to 2023, it was the greatest transition of wealth ever. And now they're taking more and more debt and they're inflating the shit out of the economy and telling you we're going to war with Russia. Wow. Really too much for me. Guys, please let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Let's have a laugh. Let's talk about this openly. We're not scared of running our mouth. We ask questions, we talk to our friends, we talk to our loved ones, because we actually care about our life and our future. Well, I see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm really looking forward to hear what you guys think. Take care.